So Season 2 of NBA Infinite just kicked off. We got some brand new balance and gameplay updates that were just announced for the April 17th balance hotfix. So the first player being impacted is Jimmy Butler. So for Jimmy Butler, his mid-range shoot max attributes increased from 660 to 750. His new skills added is step back shooting, which unlocks at rank 3. Level 3 catch and shoot, each level unlocks at rank 2, 3, and 4. And level 2 corner 3 specialist, each level unlocks at rank 3 and rank 4. The next player is Brandon Ingram. They increased the sector reduction time from 3 seconds to 4.5 seconds. They adjusted the exclusive shooting motion, allowing it to trigger even when contested. The pump fake hesitation skill unlocks at rank 3 instead of rank 6. And Shifty Master skill unlocks now at rank 2, 3, and 4. Next, we got DeMar DeRozan. They increased the movement speed of exclusive move. The First Step Master now unlocks at rank 1, 3, and 4 respectively. And now Acceleration Master unlocks at rank 3. Acceleration Master now unlocks at rank 1, 3, and 4 respectively. Jamal Murray. His max speed attribute increased from 621 to 750. That's a big boost. This boosts his off-ball movement, defense, and dribbling movements. His punk fake skill unlocks at rank 3 instead of rank 5. Next one is a big one. This is for Nikola Jokic. His max speed attribute increased from 409 to 603. That's a nice jump, which is boosting his off-ball movement, defense, and dribbling capabilities. After the screen and roll, the bonus to his field goal percent is increased as well. His power post-up skill now unlocks at rank 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 6. His hook shot now unlocks at rank 2 or 3. His special delivery now unlocks at rank 1, 2, 3, and 7. His pump fake and pass skill unlocks at rank 1. His air courier skills unlock at rank 3, 4, and 5. And they removed the tough shoot finisher skill. Now, the reason why they removed the tough shoot finisher skill is because Jokic in real life does not use fadeaways or step back shots. So that's why they removed that skill, and that makes a lot of sense. And so far, I do like the approach. This was one of the legendaries that had potential, but Joel Embiid clearly cut was the better choice. So it looks like they are focusing more on the legendaries as well, which makes a ton of sense considering how hard they are to pull and how expensive they are to upgrade. So this here, if I was not using a legendary center yet, Jokic would be a viable option now. The next is Luka, which I'm very glad to see, especially since he just came out. So they expanded the triggering area of Luka's up and under layup move. They adjusted the basic shooting movements, increased the release speed, and extended the length of the blue part of the shooting bar. That's a massive one. Shifty Master skill now unlocks at rank 1, 2, 3, and 6. First Step Master now unlocks at rank 1, 2, 3, and 6. And Euro Step Layup now unlocks at rank 3 instead of rank 4. I felt that Luka was a bit underwhelming on the scoring side when he first came out. I felt a lot of his best skills were available as he ranked up higher. So seeing these changes here is incredible. It shows that they are paying attention to feedback. And again, they are finding ways to make the legendaries the true viable options, right? Because that's the way it should have been from the beginning. So this is a massive change to Luka, and I like this a lot. And low-key, I'm kind of sad that I sold my Luka. So the next player is Trae Young. They removed the dunk fake and pass skill. The step back skill now unlocks at rank 2 instead of 3, so that's a nice one. They addressed an issue where Trae Young would sometimes do a running jump shot even though the movement joystick did not move. That's better for player control. So that allows you to control him much better. So that's pretty good. The next change is to Damian Lillard. They addressed the issue where Damian Lillard would sometimes do a running jump shot even though the movement joystick did not move. So the same change for Trae Young they did for Dame. There's been changes to Devin Booker. They decreased the collision zone of Devin Booker's pace pusher skill effect. As far as like the rationale for that, it says in the previous gameplay adjustment, the collision zone of Devin Booker's exclusive pace pusher skill was too wide. This made him very unsmooth when attacking, so they decreased his collision zone. So that's a good change. Zion Williamson, they removed the layup fake and pass skill and replaced it. So for Zion Williamson, they removed the layup fake and pass skill and the pump fake and pass skill. What they did do is added dunk fake and pass skill, which unlocks at rank 3. So the dev note says it is confusing as Zion as a dunker couldn't pass the ball during dunks. So they changed the skills to include passing capabilities during dunks. Makes a lot of sense. Now this is the change I'm very excited about. I've been hyping up this card for a while. I feel like it was going to be a gem. And it's Jalen Green. So they increased his max rating to 89. That's pretty huge. His max dunk attribute increased from 840 to 849. That's a slight change. His max dribble attribute increased from 703 to 750, so that's pretty significant. His max layup attribute increased from 703 to 750, and his max mid-range shot increased from 713 to 750. He's been balling out of control during that win streak, and let's be real, these changes here does make Jalen Green a very viable budget option for the shooting guard position, and this puts him in a higher tier for sure. I think it just makes him an even more strong offensive weapon. Next changes to Domantas Sabonis. So they added dunk, fake, and pass skill, which unlocks at rank 3. Makes a lot of sense. He is a top tier floor general. Next changes to Kawhi Leonard. Max strength attribute increased from 770 to 805. They also increased his off-ball movement speed and his defense movement speed. They added the pump, fake, and dive skill, which now unlocks at rank 3. They added corner 3 specialist skill, now unlocks at rank 2, 4, and 5. That's a huge one. And ankle breaker skill now unlocks at rank 2, 3, and 4. Similar to Luka, I think that Kawhi, when he first came out, you didn't really see his true ability until you ranked him up to like 3 or 4. So by having some of his skills unlocked earlier, this is massive. And the pump, fake, and drive skill unlocking at rank 3, that's pretty huge too. Because now this gives him a lot of opportunities to be a more effective scorer. And on top of that, it will be a lot easier to take advantage of him when you rank him up to 2 or 3. So this is pretty big, especially how expensive these players are to upgrade, right? Specifically Kawhi and Luka, so this is pretty big. All right, so the next change is to Jason Tatum. So Jason Tatum, they're removing the pump fake hesitation skill, and the max level of the clutch shooter skill is decreasing from 3 to 1. Jason Tatum has been too good recently. They just recently buffed him, but I guess they realized that they just made him way too overpowered. So I think this does help balance him out a bit. And as far as the dev note, it says after the last adjustment, Tatum has become too versatile on both offense and defense. Considering his less than stellar ability to attack during critical moments this season, we have decided to weaken his offensive ceiling. Hey, listen, I'm all for that. It makes sense. Next change, though, is to one of my favorite players. It is to Paul George. So the max level of 3-point pull-up pro skill decreased from 4 to 2. And the max level of unlimited range skill decreased from 3 to 1. Now, I've recently maxed out all the skills for Paul George, so seeing this kind of hurts, but you know, you got to take the good balance changes with the bad, right? So the note for this one here says George, in addition to his excellent defensive performance on the guard line, is also very strong on the offensive end. Therefore, we have lowered the ceiling of his offensive skills. Now, there's still more changes, folks. I'll tell you, this is jam-packed. Clint Capella is the next player. His max rebound attribute decreased from 849 to 810. His max block attribute decreased from 752 to 690. And his block attribute bonus from the exclusive skill decreased as well. In addition to that, his rebound attribute bonus from the dominant skill has been decreased also. So he's actually been nerfed a lot. The dev note says Capella's rebound and dominance has diminished compared to previous seasons. So they made overall adjustments to his rebounding ability. So again, they're putting a lot of emphasis on the player's real life performances, which makes this even more interesting. And can also help you anticipate maybe upcoming changes, which means, you know, hopefully there could be a change to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander as well. The next player is Bojan Bogdanovic. His max 3-point shoot attribute decreased from 849 to 810. Max mid-range shoot attribute decreased from 828 to 780. They removed the unlimited range skill. They removed the pump fake and pass skill. The max level of 3-point pull-up pro skill decreased from 3 to 2. And the max level of mid-range pull-up pro, the scale decreased from 3 to 1. He got nerfed pretty bad as well. Since joining, the dev note says since joining the New York Knicks, Bogdanovic's offensive role has been diminishing. Therefore, we have downgraded his ability to shoot 3-pointers off the dribble. I mean, he was too good. I've seen Hitman ball out with him, so I guess it makes sense. And he was a good budget player as well. Next one is Bam Adebayo. They decreased the max level of his airborne skill from 4 to 2, and they removed the power rebound skill. This is interesting because I did feel Bam Adebayo was a underrated rebounder, and at times I felt like he was the best rebounder on the court no matter what player I was using. So the dev note says Adebayo possesses excellent speed, strength, and rebounding abilities, making him very versatile. Therefore, we slightly decrease his rebounding and alley-oop capabilities to make him focus more on scenarios like helping defense. So I guess this prevents people from keeping Bam Adebayo in the paint all the time. And having them stretch and space out the floor a little bit better, kind of like Pascal Siakam. Next player is Brook Lopez. They decreased the max level of elite rebounding skill from 3 to 2. Lopez's rebounding level has further declined this season, so we have downgraded his rebound performance. So those were the balance changes, but there's also been adjustments to the gameplay. The first one is an adjustment on contested mechanics. So they adjusted the effective range of heavily contested, making it easier to cause heavy contests. They also increased the contest effect caused by close distance and jump blocks. Now, initially when I first read this, I thought, man, the defense is already kind of out of control, especially since a lot of players don't go for blocks and they don't go for steals. They just kind of just stand in front of your body to get the heavily contest. But after reading the dev note, it made a lot of sense. So it says, when using players with insufficient defensive attribute skills, it's often very difficult to create a significant contest effect despite great effort. We hope to encourage everyone to put more effort into defense. Therefore, we have increased the bonus for blocks and close distance contests. Additionally, we have adjusted the triggering range for very heavy contests, making it easier to trigger. So this makes a lot of sense, because if you had a bad defender, it made no sense to jump for the block. It wasn't gonna stop that shot, especially if you got like a Giannis going in there or Victor Wembanyama. This here encourages players at least to go for that block or that close contest, because there will be a bonus for it. I mean, this makes a lot of sense. So I actually like this change, right? The next one is height advantage and hoop giant skills. So they decrease the bonus buff, and if the opposing player does not block, then it gives them an additional buff. Height advantage was great when using Kevin Durant and when using Wemby, and hoop giant skill was a good one as well. So what's going to happen is if someone tries to block the shot, right? Because remember, they're putting a focus on more blocks. So if you go for the block, this is going to be very good. But if you're still not going to try to block the ball, the height advantage and hoop giant skills are going to get an additional buff. So again, the game is encouraging you to play more defense. The current anti-contest skill bonus be easily triggered as long as the conditions are met. Based on the relatively easy to trigger conditions and the less significant numerical enhancements, defenders lack countermeasures when such skills are activated. Therefore, we have adjusted the way bonuses are applied. Defenders can choose the block to reduce the opponent's gains. So that's how you counter those skills. If the opponent does not block, then the attacker will have a higher numerical gain and can perform other operations after a jump. This is going to be very interesting, and I'm glad that I maxed out the Kevin Durant, because I think that this is going to give him a pretty good indirect buff. The next is clutch shooter skill. Added additional anti-contestant bonuses. If the opponent chooses not to block from skill level 3 and above. So consistent with the overall contestant adjustment approach, they also hope to add more suspense at the last moment. This involves increasing the strategic play between the offense and the defense. Therefore, we adjusted the clutch shooter skills attribute bonuses. This is another good one too, because if you try to get that block at the end of the game, you're going to be rewarded for that. But if you don't, then whoever got the clutch shooting skill, height advantage, hoop giant, they're going to ball out of control. And then the next one is pump fake hesitation skill. They optimize the control for the second stage of the skill triggering, and they decrease the probability of ankle breaking. I'm happy about that, because this pump fake will stun you most of the times, and it was just almost like an easy jump shot, especially for Jason Tatum. You'll be able to do that sidestep shot, and it was over. So the dev note says performing the pump fake hesitation skill directly can also result in players being quickly ankle broken, which brings excessive defensive pressure. Therefore, we have decreased the probability of ankle breaking moves and optimize the control field of connecting to subsequent breakthroughs. So that was the April 17th balance hotfix. Let me know what balance and gameplay updates are you excited about, and which player you're going to try to go after, or did one of your players get a buff, or did they get a nerf? Man, I'm pretty curious to see what you guys say. As always, I do appreciate the support. I will catch you on the next one. Stay ballin'.